Okay, so getting ready for yoga. Yay. So finding that comfortable, easy seat. We'll just stay here for a minute or so, not too long. Let's just draw the shoulders up towards our ears and roll them back and down, floating those eyelids closed. And start to tune into your breath. And begin to lengthen and deepen those breaths. Noticing the subtle movement that the breathing creates. Right? So you feel those ribs expand. Feel that chest rise up a little bit. And then as you exhale, you'll feel that little contraction. Focusing on that expansion and contraction. And then just changing the breath a little teeny bit. Visualize your torso like it's a big cup, big glass. And each time you breathe in, you fill up that cup. Right? So when we breathe in, and if you were normally filling a cup, if you just visualize like if you were pouring liquid in the cup, right, the bottom fills up first, then the middle, then the top. So we can do that with our breathing. So when we inhale, allow your abdomen to expand a little so that the air gets drawn down deeper. Filling from the bottom up through the middle and then to the top, about where your throat is. And then when you exhale, we'll empty the cup, emptying from the top first, the middle, and then the bottom. Now, literally, of course, this isn't really how the breath works, but it's a helpful visual for us to learn how to deepen our breath and improve our breathing muscles, as well as, believe it or not, get a little of that core strength. And when we breathe deeply like this, it really does help us to calm down. It triggers the more relaxing side of our nervous system, right? The rest and digest. But it can also help us improve our concentration, our focus. So there's lots of benefits here. Blood pressure can go down. The body starts to get better at doing what it's supposed to do naturally. So just a couple more of these deep 3-part breaths, filling up from the bottom, emptying from the top. And then let it go. We'll bring our hands together in front of our hearts. Ask yourself why you came to yoga today. What do you need from your practice? What can you give to your practice? What can you give to yourself? And there's answers, form, and intention. And if nothing's coming to you, it's fine. You can just be in the moment. And when you're ready, release. releasing your hands, blinking open your eyes. All right, we're going to start on our backs. So go ahead and make your way down onto the mat, lying on the back. And let's bend the knees here. We'll bend our knees. Let's take the feet out about the width of your mat. You can rest your knees on each other, coming into a hammock pose. Steeple knee pose, we call it sometimes. You can place one hand on your heart and one hand on your navel. And just take a couple more deep breaths here. And then let's walk those feet in towards each other. Draw your knees into your chest. Hold onto your shins or the backs of your thighs. And you can rock a little side to side, just massaging out that back. And then come back to the center. We'll release those feet down on the mat. Put a little space between them. Take your arms out like a T. And let's do some gentle windshield wipers. So let each leg just kind of work independently. You don't have to move them together as a unit. And generally, if you've got a little more space between those legs, you'll get a little bit more hip movement happening here, right? The thigh bone has a little more freedom to move around in that hip joint. And that helps us to lubricate the joints, right? That synovial fluid starts to get stimulated here, which feels good. And then we'll bring those knees back to the center. And then let's draw the right knee into the chest and extend your left leg long on your mat. And that left leg, let's keep it active. So flex the foot a little bit and elongate the leg, and you'll feel it rooting down towards the ground. And then let's straighten the right leg up. Hold on to the back of your thigh here. Let's roll the ankle, drawing circles with the toes. You might be feeling your hamstring stretching a little, or resisting is probably more like it. All right, and then let's roll the ankle the other way, if you didn't do that already. And then we're going to take a half happy baby with this right leg. So let's bend the right knee, move it out to the side, right? The knee bends about 90 degrees. Your sole of the foot still pointing up, and then you can grab the outside edge of your foot if you can reach it, or your big toe. You can even grab the back of your thigh as you draw down, but the foot, if you can get the foot, try that. That's the most effective. So pull down so that knee moves a little bit closer towards the floor. Right, so the knee should be bent here quite a bit. Right? Think about if you were doing a big sumo squat with one leg. We're just laying on our backs. Awesome, and then we're going to come into a twist. So let's release the foot. We'll keep that right knee bent. Take your right arm out to the side, and then bring that knee across your body, coming into a twist here. Inhaling, bring it back. We'll draw that right knee into the chest. And then switch legs. Draw your left knee into your chest. Extend your right leg long. Keep the right foot active. Press down through that right leg, right? Keep it elongated. And then we'll straighten the left leg up as we get a little gentle hamstring stretch, and then get into those ankles and calf muscles a little bit, rolling the ankle, rolling the foot, drawing circles, however you look at it. And then change direction. Nice, and then we'll move into that happy baby on this side. So the left knee will bend, we'll take the knee out to the side, sole of the foot points up to the sky, right? So it's like a half little squat, but we're on our backs. So if you just hold the foot with one hand, like your left hand, I find it easier to grab, I keep my arm on the inside of the leg and then grab the outside edge of the foot, but do what feels right for you. We want to get a little leverage here. We want to get a little leverage here so that we can get into that hip. All right, and then we'll release that. You can keep that left knee bent, take your left arm out to the side, and then move into your twist, bringing that leg across. And then inhale, let's unwind from that. We'll pull that left knee into the chest and then extend that left leg long and reach your arms above your head. So both arms come above the head. Stretch out through your feet and your toes. A good morning stretch here. And then let's pull both knees back into the chest, rounding that back a little bit here. And then let's rock forward and backward a couple times. Third or fourth roll, we'll come up to seated. I want to do that in every class. That's fine. All right, however, we're not staying here. We're going to come around to table. Just briefly here. So hands will line up under our shoulders typically, right? Wrists under the shoulders. I want you to look at your hand placement. Try and spread your fingers a good amount here. And look at the wrist crease, right? Where your hand and wrist meet. Now, of course, we're not completely straight, right? We've got some rounding there. But ideally, those wrist creases are lined up like parallel to the top of your mat. Right? Root down through all 10 fingers. Create almost like a little suction cup in the base of your hand, right? That center part of your hand underneath the part that's not connecting to the mat, right? And then we're going to rock forward, pull your abs in a little bit, let the shoulders come forward of the wrists, and then go back, right? Let the hips go back. So we're just shifting forward and back, warming up those wrists a little bit here. And then, of course, as we move forward, you may feel your abdominals want to engage a little bit. So let that happen, right? Pull those abs in, always a good idea. And then if you want to start making it a little bit bigger, letting the hips go all the way back to the heels, you can do that as well. But we want to keep that, what we call that hasta hand. Hasta is hand in Sanskrit. Bandha, which is a seal, a lock, a gate. Lots of different meanings for that. But rooting down through those hands and those fingers. Just a couple more of these. And then we'll make our way back to an extended child's pose. So widen out those knees. And if you want, you can let those arms relax, but try to keep them above your head for right now if you can. Take a couple deep breaths here. And then let's take a little kneeling flow here. So we'll lock those hands to the top of the mat, stretch the arms out. Root down through those fingers just like you did before. Inhale, roll up, come into a kneeling push-up. So this time the shoulders pretty much stay over the wrists, maybe just a teeny bit forward. Bend those elbows lower down. Roll the shoulders back. Come to a baby cobra here. Pull those elbows in. And then we'll lower the chest. Push up through a kneeling push-up position, and then straighten your legs, come into a high plank, pull the belly in, round the back a little bit, and then lift those hips, press back, make your way to downward facing dog. Any sort of movement that feels right for you, they take it here, pedaling our heels, turning the head right to left, left to right. And then coming to stillness, rooting down through both heels. Check in with your hands. Energize through all 10 fingers, root down through the knuckles, especially the knuckles at the base of your fingers. So the ones that are closer to the hand itself.
And then isometrically, we want to draw our forearms towards each other. You may feel your elbows slightly bend. That's fine. In fact, that's a good thing, especially if you have a tendency to lock out or hyperextend your elbows. So lots of strength happening there, but it's really to create stability and safer alignment, injury preventing alignment. Full breath in, full breath out. Rise up onto the toes and walk your feet up to the top of the mat. Inhaling, half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Let's take ragdoll arms here. Put some space between your feet if it helps, and even bend those knees if it helps so that you can let your torso really just hang loose. Hang loose. And then release your elbows, come back to the center if you were moving around, and inhale, come into a half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold back down. And inhale, reverse. Reach the arms up and over. Exhale to Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's inhale, reach the arms up, tall mountain. Exhale, swan dive down to your forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, we'll plant those hands, step back to your plank. Bending those elbows, we'll lower down. Inhaling through, come into cobra or go for an up dog. Exhale to your downward facing dog. And then let's get a hip opener here. So let's lift that right leg high to the sky, bend the knee, open that hip out. Work on squaring your shoulders here. So this is a little bit more of a twist for the torso. And then go ahead and square up the hips, float that right foot down, and then switching sides. Left leg will go up, bending the knee, opening the hip out. And then again, just checking in with the shoulders. Most of us have a tendency to roll that chest open. So press that left armpit down towards the floor or towards the back of the mat, however you look at that. Squaring those shoulders. Elongate. All right, and then we'll bring that foot back down to the ground. We're going to inhale back into a plank. So roll forward to a higher kneeling plank. Exhale, bending those elbows, lower down. Inhale, lift that heart. Exhale, lift those hips, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and out. Yeah. And bring those feet to the top of the mat. Let's inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse, reach the arms up. Exhale, mountain pose. Awesome. Let's inhale, arms rise. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold, hinging from those hips. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant those hands, step back, lower down. Making our way to downward facing dog. Let's inhale that right leg high to the sky for down dog split. And then exhale, bring that foot to the top of the mat. Come into a low runner's lunge. We're going to keep the hands here for a moment. Check in with your back leg, fire it up, energize it. Left hand will stay on the mat. You can do a fist, palm, fingertips, whatever. Inhale, reach your right arm up, taking a nice twist here. On an exhale, float that hand down. Inhale, step the right foot back to meet the left, find your plank. Exhale, bend those elbows, lower down. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lift those hips. Let's take the twist on the other side, but let's break it down. Inhale, left leg high, down dog split. Exhale, bring that foot to the top of the mat. Get set up in your lunge, right? Establish that foundation, fire up the back leg. Right hand stays where it is. Left arm reaches up. Give me a couple breaths here. On an exhale, float that left hand down. We'll step the left foot back, making our way to our plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lift those hips. Nice job. All right, root down to those heels, yogis. Elongate the arms, but remember, we want to energetically or isometrically scrub the forearms or the hands towards the midline, right? The hands are glued to the mat, of course, but we're trying to move them towards the midline, and that helps to align those arm bones in the joint in a more congruent and a safer way. Deep breath in, breath out. When you're ready, feet come to the top of the mat. Inhale to a halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse. Arms reach up overhead. Let's keep the arms up overhead. And then drop your tailbone down a little bit. So it might feel like a little micro tuck. Knit your front ribs in. Engage those muscles in between your rib bones. Abdominals naturally engage there too. Good, let's drop the left arm down. Take a little stretch here. You can go over to the side a little more if that feels good. And then let's switch sides. Right, so remember, try to keep that core foundation stuff we were just doing with the tailbone and the rib muscles and the abdominals. And then we're going to inhale, reach up, and then let's take a little heart opener here. So take the hands down behind you. You can either interlace your fingers or place your fists behind your pelvis. Extend your arms if you've got the fingers interlaced, shoulders draw back. Press your hips forward a little bit, drop the tailbone a little more. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Releasing that out, we'll inhale, reach the arms back up, reset yourself, knit those front ribs in, drop the tailbone down. And then bend your knees, come into chair pose. Yes, take a breath in. Exhale, fold over those legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands. You can step back and lower. If you're feeling frisky this morning on this Friday, go ahead and jump back. Flow through to down dog. Inhale, lift that right leg high to the sky. Exhale, bring that foot to the top of the mat. We'll come to warrior one. So let's plant that back heel down, making our way into our warrior one. Yeah. Couple breaths here. Nice. And then let's inhale, open out to warrior two. Adjust that stance as needed. Widen it out, whatever. Yeah, now we're getting warm. We have a very efficient heater here in the fitness yoga. It really kicks the heat out. All right, so keep your warrior two legs. Flip your right palm and inhale, radiate your warrior. Drop the shoulders down here. Yeah, and you can look up, which is the typical way we go. Sometimes it's nice to turn your head and look down towards the back foot. It feels a little more grounding sometimes, and it also sometimes feels better on the neck. So explore that a little, see which one suits you today. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to make our way back to a warrior two. Warrior two. Okay, so draw a breath in. And then exhale, hinge over for side angle, resting that right forearm on your thigh. Draw your shoulders back a little bit, opening that chest. And then let's take this top arm and just bring it down by your side on your torso. So your palm is like facing your leg. And then you're going to sweep that arm in front of you and then bring it like over your head, you know, towards the front of the room. Then open your chest and turn to look up towards the sky. The arm floats back behind you, right? So we're doing this sort of weird elliptical kind of circle. So then bring that hand back down by your side and do it again, right? So come here, but then turn the torso if you can, open out a little more, right? And then just do that one more time. I know we've had this leg bent for a long time, sorry. We're gonna get out of this real soon. Opening it up, nice. And then lift your torso up, straighten your front leg. Ah, take a breath in, you got it. Exhale, reach, come into your triangle pose. Get that nice, sweet stretch. Let's take the top arm down behind our back. Let's take that bottom arm and reach it out to the front of the room, palm faces up.
Lengthen your spine. Yeah, you might even lift your torso up a little more here. Yeah. Good. All right, back to triangle arms. Inhale, lift yourself all the way up. Take a little radiant triangle. And then exhale, we're going to windmill down, come into that low lunge. And then sweep that right foot back for a down dog split. Bend your knee, open your hip out. Let's flip that dog, shall we? So let's bring that right foot down. So do an actual flip dog. So right foot comes down, left knee bends, left foot comes down. Your front of your hips are pointing up towards the sky. Then you press your hips up. So it's almost like you're going into a wheel pose, which is a possible transition, but we haven't done a lot of back bending, so I would stay here. All right, bring it back around. Take a rest or flow through, or both. Flow through, rest, rest, flow through. Yes, it's locked there, Lisa. So just lift, you just press them up. There's no strength, just bottom, push up. No, I'll do it, I do it. I'm talking about the blinds. They're like this. It's good, no problem. I know, I had the windows open, and then when that heat kicks in with that vent right there. All right, so let's meet in down dog if you're not there. All righty. Inhale your left leg high to the sky. Exhale, bring that foot to the top of the mat. We'll plant the back heel down and rise up to warrior one to start. Just settling in here for a couple of breaths. That feels pretty good. We got a fresh side. All right, open out to your warrior two. I have to remember, I got to put my lid on my water because I'll tip it over. I'll kick it right over and it'll spill. All right, so staying here in this warrior two, let's flip the palm and reverse it. Drop your shoulders down, and then again, you can decide whether you want to stay with traditional looking up towards the sky or turning your head and looking down towards the back foot. And then let's make our way back to a warrior two. Take a breath in and then hinge over for side angle. And then we'll do that shoulder movement again. So let's bring that right arm down by our side, palm faces down, and then sweep it in front of you. And then start to bring it up and over. Open the chest, so there's a little rotation there, right? And then sweep it down. Right, so now we kind of know where we're going with this. But try to keep the movement really slow. Like imagine you're moving your arm through water, right? It would move a lot slower than it does normally through air. All right, so we're just doing this one more time. And then we're going to keep that arm up. And then, yeah, I'm sorry, we keep it up. I forgot. Forgot where I was there for a second. Good. And then let's go ahead and inhale, lift the torso up, straighten your front leg, move to triangle pose. So reaching forward, tipping over. Keep the chest open, spine nice and long. And then we'll take that top arm down behind our back. And then let's reach the bottom arm towards the front of the room, palm faces back. And then really focus on lengthening here through the arm and your torso. Lifting the torso up a little higher usually makes the lengthening happen a little more easily. Good, and then let's go back to regular triangle arms. Inhale, lift the torso up, we'll reverse the triangle. Inhale, exhale, windmill down, come into that low runner's lunge. Step that left foot back to down dog split, open the hip out. And then flipping your dog, bringing that left foot to the ground, bending the right knee, pressing both feet down to lift your hips up, and you can reach your left arm straight up or back behind your head. Let's bring it back around. And then let's all just come into a plank. Inhale.
Exhale, we're gonna lower all the way down. So I'm tricking you. We're not doing a regular vinyasa, lower all the way down. But hey, if you throw it in, good for you. All the way down, arms by our side, palms down. Energize your legs. Lift up to locust pose. Inhale. Good, breathe. Taking one more breath. And then as we exhale, we'll lower down. Bend the elbows, bring the hands next to your ribs. Push up to either kneeling or high plank. And then your down dog. Yes. Full breath in. Full breath out. When you're ready, bring your feet to the top of the mat. We'll inhale to a half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. All right. So we're going to bring the feet together, big toes touch, bending the knees, and let's rise up to chair pose. And then let's just bring the hands down in front of the heart. Remembering our intentions, remembering why we came. Moving into a revolved or twisting chair with an option to work on side pro this morning. Just an option. So depending on where you're going, okay, you can hold the twist and then not do the arm balance and then just come back to a standing forward fold, okay? So inhale to prepare, exhale, twist to your right. So that left elbow hooks onto the outside of that thigh. And then you can also just open your arms here in the twist, right? And that usually gives you a really nice opening. And I find that it helps you to get deeper into the twist. And then if you want to play around with working towards the side pro or working on it, you can bring your palms back together for a moment. Bend your knees more. Come onto the balls of your feet, your hips drop down. So you're essentially in this, squat. You're still in this twist though. So hands come down. Like your left hand should be kind of in line with your right foot, but off to the distance. Eye it up, right hand about shoulder width apart. And then you lean over to your right and forward. Squeeze your thighs together and feet float up, right? Squeeze the thighs together and squeeze your heels in towards your butt. But you have to get this, the trick, you gotta get this left arm. Use it as a shelf for your right leg. Ideally, the right arm is just doing a chaturanga, right? You find that sweet spot. That's it. Yes, good. It's there. You don't float. I know, why don't they float? So Liz, where you were, just so you see, see where your left hand is? It's way in front of your right foot, isn't it? Move it over more, and then move your right arm over more. And then you want to go chaturanga and then lean towards the right corner of the room a little bit more, just with your weight, right? So it's not just straight, usually it's a little bit more diagonal. Because what happens is we have so much weight on that left arm because the legs are there that we need to shift off of that a little bit and put more weight into the right arm. That counted. Resist the temptation to try and push up though, because you'll take a header. If you practice somewhere else, just put a pillow there. If you can do a chaturanga, you can do it. It's just a matter of integrating all those other pieces together. All right. How about a standing forward fold? Suzanne, you've probably been there for a little while. I don't know. Awesome. Okay. So let's go ahead. We're not staying long. Okay. So standing forward fold, step back to a plank. Good. Now I want to just pause this plank for a moment here. Put knees down if you're feeling a little fatigued, especially if your wrists are, fatigued from that work that we just did. Okay. Just staying here for 3, 2, 1. Bend the elbows lower down. Let's go all the way down. We'll take a locust pose just to get off the wrists a little bit. Tight legs. Lift the heart. Breathe. So the energy level is still up. We're still working a little bit here. Exhale, lower down. Hands frame out the ribs. Push back up to a plank, tabletop, whatever. And then downward facing dog. Okay. We're not going to go right to the side twisting chair yet. We're just going to do a couple other things. So let's inhale, lift the right leg high, and then bring that foot to the outside of your right hand. And then let's lower that left knee down today. Yay. You can stay on your hands or you can lower down to your forearms. Check out your front foot. Ideally, typically for this version of lizard, we want the ankle forward of the knee on that front leg and out wider. It gives you more space. It gives you a little bit more of inner thigh stretch on that right leg. Okay. If you want to add a twist here, you can just turn to your right, placing your right hand on your thigh. You can stay on your forearm or be up on your hand or a block. And then gently bend that left leg. See how that feels. If you're starting to feel like you're going to get a cramp, go ahead and release that foot back down. But if you can bend that knee a little bit, maybe reach back, catch the foot. Ooh, that's a tough one. Ooh, haven't done that one in a while. But you got to watch sometimes because sometimes those hamstrings are like, oh. Something cramps. All right, release it out. We're going to make our way back up onto our hands, and then let's walk that front foot in. We'll take a little half split here. So hips walk back over that knee and fold forward. So this side might work better when we do it on the other side. Or this leg might work better when we do it on the other side. Full deep breaths in and out. All right, bending your front knee, shift your hips forward. We'll lift the left knee up. And let's take it back to a plank. And then bend those elbows, lower down. Inhale, lift to cobra or go for up dog. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. Full inhale, full exhale. Then bring your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, fold it down. Bring your feet together, big toes touch. Bending your knees. Rise up to chair. Hands come down in front of the heart. Just make sure you can see your toes. Take a breath in and then twist left. All right, so get the twist first. Let this happen, right? The body is kind of adjusting here. So we want to root into the arm, like press into the leg, resist with the leg, lengthen the spine, open the arms. If you can get that right tricep a little bit more towards the outside of the thigh. If you lower your hips, you can get deeper into the twist. Okay, then playing around, taking it at your own pace, possibly lowering down. So sometimes we get out of the twist a little bit when we come down to the ground. So you can kind of reestablish a twist. You can open out, reach your right arm up, lengthen the spine, and then bring that arm around, and then you can really get deep. So right hand should be in front of that left foot. Left hand goes out. Shift it forward and over. Feet pull in. Try not to kick, pull. Squeezing the thighs together and pulling your feet in towards your butt. Pull your heels into your butt, bend your arms more. Typically, for most of us, we need to bend those arms more and shift the weight forward more. And that's the scary part, right? Especially in here, because we have this nice hard floor. So psychologically, blankets help, pillows help, even like your shirt, if you have something soft to look at, it actually makes you feel a little safer. Okay, how you guys doing at home there? Good. All right, let's meet up in a forward fold, standing forward fold, just briefly. We'll get the rest of that stuff happening in a moment. Lengthen the spine, inhale. Exhale, let's plant those hands. We're gonna step it back. Hold the plank, take high knee plank or kneeling plank. Okay, so even here, look at your wrists, look at your hands, and then energetically, isometrically move the forearms, the hands towards the midline, right? Let those elbows bend a little bit, feel that strength.
3, 2, 1. We're gonna lower down. Let's lower all the way down. We'll take a locust pose again. Inhale, lift that heart. And then we'll just exhale, lower down. Bend the elbows, hands scream out the ribs. Push up through tabletop or high plank. Back to down dog. Inhale the left leg high. Exhale, bring that foot to the outside of the hand. Setting up for our lizard. Right knee comes down. Just check the left foot, make sure it's well forward of the knee. Let the hips come forward. Lower down if it feels right. Adding a twist, turning to your left. Yeah, there's lots of different ways you can go into the twist here. Now, if you did this on the other side, I just, try to do it here if you can. Let the back leg be relaxed somewhat, and then just gently bend the knee. Right, see where your edge is. Possibly go deeper, grabbing the foot. If you get the foot bind, draw the shoulders back, broaden the chest like you do in any sort of back bend or heart opener. Unwind, releasing. Let's come up onto the hands. We'll walk that foot back into the midline. Lift your back knee up. Step it back. Okay, last time, let's take a flow. Inhaling to your high or kneeling plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift that heart. Exhale, lift those hips, downward facing dog. All right, and then we can grab quick water if you haven't had a chance to do that. I forgot about the half split. We got to do it. I'm like, something's missing. I'm like, okay, we got to, and I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, oh, I'm a little ahead. Now I know why. Sorry about that. So bring your left foot up in between your hands, and then we'll do the half split. Sorry about that. Walk those hips back, straighten that front leg. We don't want to miss this one. All right, exhale, fold over, lengthen the spine. All right, and then we'll go ahead and transition back to that lunge. And let's go ahead and just make our way to a down dog. Take a full breath in and out. Okay, let's come down onto our knees. Come down onto our knees, come to all fours. And then let's take the right foot out to our side. The right foot out to our side. And then we're just going to do an open twist. So we're going to turn towards that right leg. Left hand will stay down on the mat. We'll inhale, reach that right arm up. And then exhale, lower that hand down. And then see if you can sink your hips back. Now, not everybody's knee can go for that. So do what you can. Stretch your arms out, lower your head down. So it's like essentially a child's pose with your leg out to the side. So if you can't go all the way down, that's fine. Just lower your head down and stretch your arms out. And that's more like a puppy dog with your leg out to the side. But if you can go all the way back and sit on your heel, as long as it feels okay on your knee, try that. And sometimes we're not sure. And then we're like, oh, I can do it. All right. Now we're going to inhale and lift back up. And then take this left foot, the one that's back there, the knees bent, and swivel the foot so that it comes toward the outside of your mat. So come, yeah. And then we're going to, so Lisa, go the other way. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. And then we're going to come to seated. So we wanted to make room for our butt, essentially. Right. And then here we are in our situation here for a little, we'll do a little side head sweep, say revolve. So We're going to do a little twist first. So turn towards your bent knee and lengthen the spine. All right, so I like to get into this pose a different way. So I like to do what I call it the ninja move. I find that it's a little bit safer for the spine. Just depends. If your spine's all healthy and no issues, it's not a big deal. But most of us have something going on, whether we know it or not. So you're going to walk out over that bent knee. Your right hip will come up. Let it come up. So you should be way off to the side. And then you're going to just walk around low, low, all the way over. So you're low, low, low. Your right hip comes back on. Grab the inside of your foot. Turn your palm up. Grab the foot. Elbow down on the inside of the leg if you can get it there. Left hand on your hip as you rotate open, or bring that left arm over. Grab the toe only if that's accessible, right? It's not a gotta have. You can do this, you can do this, right? Whatever works. Open the chest. Spin that left shoulder back. Do what you can. Any option that works for you, that's good. Okay, so here, we're not going back the way we came. We're just gonna lift straight up. Yes, plant your left hand down. Lift your hips up. This just feels really good after that. So let's do that. Stretch it out. We'll come back to seated. Come back to all fours. Tabletop. Good? Okay. Left leg goes out to the side. So we're on the other leg now. Right hand stays planted under the shoulder. Open twist, reaching that left arm up. Okay, exhaling, we'll bring that hand down. And then we're either keeping the hips up as we walk the hands out for this sort of puppy dog heart melting pose, or see if you can walk it back and let those hips just kind of rest on the right heel. All right, then we'll come back up, lining those hands under the shoulders. And then that right foot, just move it to your left, right? So just going to the left side of your mat to make some room. We'll walk back and we'll come to seated. Right? So, you know, we're not really facing the long part of our leg, right? We're kind of more in between the two legs, right? So we'll lengthen through and then take your twist towards that bent knee. Lift the chest. All right, and then we're doing our little ninja transition. So staying in this twist, basically walking out, lowering down, and then walking around like in this semicircle, this arc. We're low. Rotate, grab the foot if you can. Right hand can be on your hip as you open that chest, or you can take that right arm up and over. You can also have that right arm behind your back, like some of you were doing. Okay, and then straight up inhale, lift up. Ooh, yeah. Okay, right hand comes behind you. Press those hips up. We'll lower those hips down. And then let's just lean back as we bring our legs out in front. And you can just, you know, lean back into your hands. We'll do some windshield wipers here. Okay, and then let's roll into our backs. So from here, bending the knees, keeping the knees and feet about hip width apart. So we definitely have some space between our feet. We're going to take a bridge pose. So bring those heels in pretty close towards your glutes. Arms will be by our side to start. When you're ready, press those hips up, keeping your knees in line with your hips. And then you can take your favorite arm option, grabbing the opposite, or grabbing the edges of your mat, pulling on it, or tucking the shoulders underneath you, interlacing those hands, extending the arms, lengthening that tailbone, drawing those shoulders back. Now I want to make sure that you feel grounded here through your upper body because we'll work on a single leg bridge here. So keep rooting down through your left foot and then lift your right foot up towards the sky, keeping the hips level. Now this right leg, I want you to start to lower it, but line it up with the left leg. So lower it about halfway and then lift it back up. Keep those hips level, lower the leg about halfway, lift up. Let's go for 2 more. Lift up, 1, lift up, and then bend that knee, bring that foot back down to the ground, reset in your bridge, because we usually like, use that alignment a little bit. Switch legs, right foot roots down, left leg reaches up. Hips stay up, lower the leg about halfway, line it up with the other side, and then lift it up. Lower it down, lift it up, lower it down, nice, smooth, controlled movement, lift it up, and then one more time, lower, lift, bend the knee, bring the foot back down, release any bind that you took, slowly lower your back down, and this time let's bring the soles of the feet together, knees open out, reclined bound angle, arms wherever you want them. Close your eyes. Take some deep breaths. And then let's bring those knees back up together. Option to just take your feet in the air, coming into just legs up in the air, or you can pop a block underneath your hips, or if you're feeling ready and you want to take a little half or full shoulder stand, or working towards a shoulder stand. We won't be here too long. Just take your pick where you want to go with that. Just getting those feet higher than the heart. Just a few more breaths here. And then slowly start to transition down. Stretch those legs out nice and long. Feel free to bring your arms above your head and give yourself another good morning stretch here. Lying on your back still, lying on your back. And then release that out and get yourself nice and comfortable for your final relaxation, Shavasana. Anything you need there. Putting some space between your legs, putting some space between your arms and your torso. And if you can, rotate your arms so that your palms are facing up. Draw a nice big deep breath in. Fill up as much as you can here. And then exhale. Release. Relax. And once again, start to lengthen and deepen each breath. And feel free to practice a couple rounds of the three-part breath, that filling and emptying the cup breath right here. And then when you're ready, start to gently reawaken your body. Wiggling your fingers, your toes. And gradually start to make bigger movements. Bending your arms, bending your legs. And then draw those knees to your chest, roll onto your side. And then pressing up to seated, going back to where we began. We bring our hands in front of our hearts, feeling the effects of our practice, acknowledging that we did something really good for ourselves, and give yourself that little, mental pat on the back. You showed up. You did it. Let's take one more nice deep breath in. Exhaling it out. And then sealing our practice, honoring the light within all of us. Namaste. Thank you. Great job today. Very quickly, just a couple announcements. I've been doing this monthly yin by candlelight class roughly once a month, and that'll be this Sunday night.